Welcome back, beautiful souls, to Softening into Momentum, Season 3. I'm Miki. We've been walking the Eightfold Path slowly, deliberately, like we have time, because we do. We started with right view, learning to see clearly from a regulated place. We moved into right intention last week, learning to ask the heart what it actually wants before we reach for strategy. Today, we're going somewhere that I think might be the most personally meaningful stop on this path for most of us. Right speech. And before we go anywhere near how we talk to other people, I want to spend most of today's episode on something far more intimate and far more consequential: the way we talk to ourselves. Because I have found, both in my own recovery and in my coaching work, that the most damaging voice in most of our lives is not coming from outside of us. It's coming from inside. Let's take a breath and look at this together. In the Buddhist tradition, right speech is about communication that is truthful, kind, helpful, and timely. The classical teaching includes 4 elements, 4 gates, as they're sometimes called, that a piece of speech must pass through before it leaves us. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? Is it timely? These gates are meant to be applied to what we say to others, but I want to propose something. They apply with even more urgency to what we say to ourselves, because most of us are in an ongoing, constant internal conversation. A narrator that comments on everything we do, everything we feel, everything we fail at. And for many of us, especially in recovery, especially in people-pleasing patterns, that narrator is not kind. It's not even particularly truthful, but it is very, very convincing. Research in addiction and recovery consistently points to shame as one of the most powerful drivers of relapse. Not guilt, which is the feeling that I did something bad. Shame, which is the feeling that I am something bad. Guilt can motivate change. Shame tends to collapse us into the very behavior we're trying to move away from. When the inner voice says, "You failed again, you're broken, you're never going to get this right," that's not accountability, that's not helpful. That's a kind of internal violence that keeps the nervous system braced for impact and all of the old patterns intact. Right speech recognizes that words, even unspoken, even internal, have weight. They shape perception. They shape what we believe is possible. They shape the nervous system. And self-compassionate language, which can sound soft and indulgent to certain ears, is actually one of the most powerful tools for sustaining recovery and change. Not because it excuses anything, but because it keeps the pathway open. It doesn't slam the door. The regulation and reframing tool that I want to offer you today is one that I call the name Normalize Nurture. It's simple, but don't let the simplicity fool you. This is a genuine reorientation of the inner voice. When you notice a harsh thought about yourself, about what you've done or failed to do, instead of believing it, arguing with it, or pushing it away, you do 3 things. 1, name it. Simply acknowledge what's happening. There is shame here. My inner critic is loud right now. I'm being hard on myself. 2, normalize it. Recognize that having this kind of inner voice is part of the human experience, not a sign of weakness, not proof that you're broken. Of course, I feel this way. Anyone in this situation might. Or maybe you say, this is what it feels like when the nervous system is scared. 3, nurture it. Offer yourself something true and kind. Not a toxic positivity platitude, something real. I'm doing the best I can today. This is hard, and I am still here. I don't have to earn my own gentleness. This is right speech turned inward. True, necessary, kind, and offered in the right moment. I want to tell you something about the early days of my sobriety that I don't always talk about. I thought getting sober would quiet the voice. I thought if I stopped drinking, I'd stop hating myself so much. And in some ways, eventually, that happened. But in the early days, especially that first year, the voice got louder. Because now, there was nothing between me and it. The numbness was gone. The chemical buffer was gone. And the voice was waiting there, waiting. I was mean to myself in ways I wouldn't have tolerated from anyone else. I called myself weak. I cataloged my failures. I told myself that the fact that I needed to get sober at all was proof of some fundamental wrongness within me. And every time I did that, every time that language landed in my body, something braced, something tightened. The nervous system received it as a threat, because it was one. Learning to speak to myself differently wasn't self-indulgence. It was survival. It was right speech. The question I want to offer you this week is, would you say what you're saying to yourself to someone you love who was struggling with the same thing? If the answer is no, and for most of us the answer is no, that is your invitation to practice. And now, beautiful soul, a short, guided practice, rewriting the inner voice. Come into your seat. Feel your weight. Feel your breath. Take 3 full breaths to arrive. Long inhale. Slow exhale. letting the body settle into the floor or chair beneath you. Now, I want to invite you to think of one harsh thing that your inner voice says about you. One recurring thought that you've been believing to some degree for a little while. Maybe it's about your body. Maybe it's about something you did or didn't do. Maybe it's about your worth, your capabilities, your past. You don't have to share it. You just have to be willing to look at it. Bring it to mind now. Notice what happens in your body when you do. Where do you feel it? Does something tighten? Go cold? Feel heavy? Notice that. The body knows this voice. Now, gently, without arguing with the thought or collapsing into it, name what's happening. You might say to yourself, naming, there is shame here. Or my inner critic is speaking. Or maybe simply, there is a harsh thought here. You're not agreeing with it. You're not pushing it away. You're just turning on the light, saying, I see you. That act of naming is itself a regulation. It engages the prefrontal cortex. It creates just a little space between you and the thought. Now, normalizing. Bring a sense of compassionate understanding to the fact that this voice exists. It probably developed for a reason. It was probably trying to protect you at some point, to keep you safe from criticism or failure. By criticizing and failing you first. Say to yourself, of course, I have this voice. Of course. I'm human and I've been hurt. And I've learned to speak to myself this way. We normalize not because it's right, but because it's understandable. You are not uniquely broken for having this. Billions of humans have this voice. You are in excellent company. And now, this is the part that takes practice. Nurture. Offer yourself one true, kind thing. Not a rebuttal to the harsh thought. Not, that's not true, actually, I'm great. Just something honest and gentle. Like, I am doing the best I can with what I have today. Or, I have survived things I thought would break me. My struggles do not define my worth. I am allowed to still be figuring this out. Take whichever words land most true for you and say it again. And then once more. May my words be medicine. May I speak to myself the way I would speak to someone I love. May the harsh voice soften slowly over time. Take a deep breath in and let it go. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes if they were closed. Welcome back, beautiful soul. You did something important just now. The full Name, Normalize, Nurture practice and worksheet with writing prompts to help you track your inner voice patterns and practice rewriting them is all available inside the Metta Momentum Sangha on School. This is the work that makes the biggest difference, and I want you to have support doing it. Come find us. We practice together, kindly, honestly, without the pressure to perform healing. You can find the link to join the free school community in the show notes. Next week, right action, the courage it takes to respond instead of react, and why alignment, not perfection, is the actual goal. Until then, may your words be medicine. The Softening into Momentum podcast is lovingly curated, created, written, edited, and produced by me, Miki Byrne, with accompanying sound bath frequencies by my good friend, Static. If you would like to dive further into his incredible musical work, please go to YouTube at Static is Noise. My new book, Permission to Be, a memoir about sobriety, self-trust, and learning how to come home to yourself, is out now in print and ebook format, as well as the intimate audiobook version available exclusively inside the school community. All links in the show notes. Thank you for softening into this moment with me. Until we meet again, Namaste.